Cadence Rose. Today we're going to be making a everything soap recipe. So what I mean by that is I want you to be able to use this soap at as many applications as possible. So I'm going to give you the recipe and then we're going to go ahead and make this soap, and then at the end we're going to cut it and do our lather test. So I have two recipes here. I'm going to give two options just in case you want to use some different ingredients in your soap recipe. The soap that I'm making today that's in my bowl is going to have coconut oil, olive oil, pumice, and palm oil. So this is 34% coconut oil or 5.44 ounces, 33% olive oil or 5.28 ounces, and 33% palm oil and 5.28 ounces. And then we've got a 5% super fat, and we're doing a 50-50 water discount today, so that's going to be 2.33 ounces of water and lye. Water and then that same number for lye. But I'm doing a 50-50 water discount because that helps with the water weight in the soap, and it does make it more simple to measure and things like that. And then for our second recipe, you can try this at home. This is just a little bit different ingredients just in case if you want to try some different oils. But this is going to have 34% coconut oil or 5.44 ounces, 33% rice bran oil or 5.28 ounces, and 33% lard is 5.28 ounces. Same 50-50 water discount, 2.32 ounces for the water and that same number for the lye, and then a 5% super fat. So that is the numbers for our recipe. I'm just going to be making a loaf mold of soap. I'm not going to be adding any additives to this soap like sugar or white kaolin clay or anything like that, because this is going to make a pretty hard bar. I'm not going to need to add anything like that. This is going to have a good lather, and if you're wanting to use this in as many applications as possible, you probably don't want too many things like color, and I'm not going to put any scent in it. So if you have some scent problems, you don't want to smell all of that, you don't have to. But if you do want to add some scent to your soap, all you got to do is go to eocalc.com and calculate your essential oils based on your oil weight. So here I have all of my oils melted into my bowl. I have this at about 97 degrees. You want to make sure you keep your soap ingredient temperatures around that temperature, 97 to about 100, just because that helps keep everything cool so it won't accelerate or do anything like that. I'm going to put my gloves on because of course you want to have lye safety gear. We're going to be working with lye today, and I want to, when you're first making soap, always remember that there will be no lye in the final soap. Soap making goes through a chemical process called saponification, and after that, after about 48 hours, there will be no lye present in the soap anymore, if you measured it correctly, of course. Then we're going to put our safety goggles on. And so that's just what the oils look like, just kind of like a yellow color. And then we're going to pour our lye solution in. So I'm going to pour it over my spatula, and then we're going to mix it together. And for this recipe, you are going to want a soap safe bowl. If you can get this from Dollar Tree, we have our immersion blender here. This is going to help us blend this so that it doesn't take too long. And we have our mold here. I have all of this stuff linked in the description if you want to get some soap making supplies for yourself. So now I'm going to go ahead and blend this. I want this to get to a pretty thick consistency so I can get it in my mold and it can set up pretty quickly. So I'm going to take my immersion blender and we're going to mix this till a trace. So this soap is a soap that can be used for a multitude of things. Now, of course, you can always adjust the recipe if you want to use it for something more specific. But this is a recipe that can be used for your skin, your face, and your body because it does have some more gentle oils in it, and we do have a super fat. But like I said, if you do want to adjust it, you can. And you could also use this for laundry or cleaning. If you made a laundry powder, you could cut up the soap and put things like borax and baking soda, and that would help to clean and cut all of your grime and stuff in your laundry. And you can also use this for dishes and things like that. This soap recipes can be used for a multitude of things, so I hope you give it a try. So this is pretty thick now. This didn't take too long to blend. Like some soaps, they take a good long time to get thick, but this didn't take too long, which is good, but still easy to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my mold. Then we're going to scrape our bowl, make sure we get everything out. And you want to do this for a couple of reasons. Of course, you don't want to waste any of your oils or any of your precious soap batter, but also putting soap batter down the drain is not good for your pipes and different things like that. So you want to make sure you get all of the residue out as well. Alright, and there is our soap. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to spray this with alcohol to make sure it doesn't get any soda ash on top. But I don't want to spray it at this point because I just poured it. I want to let it get a little bit thicker so that it won't get wrinkly on the top, because alcohol can do that if you spray it on soap when it's too soft. For soap recipes like this one that have a good amount of coconut oil and something like palm oil and olive oil, I'm going to probably cut this pretty soon, probably later today. This is, it's almost 12 o'clock, so I'll probably cut this maybe this evening or later in the night. So I'll be back to show you how I cut this and all the things like that. So stay tuned for that, and I'll cut it and I'll give you guys a lather test once it's done saponifying, but stay tuned for the end. So like I said, I cut this multi-purpose soap a little later that day. So you can adjust and make sure to check and see based on your climate how long you need to cut it, because it can change based on the temperatures of your climate and stuff like that. But I cut it and it looked really nice. It's a very plain, just like a cream looking soap. So I got it cut like butter. Some soaps get really brittle, but this soap with the combination of oils is really good. And the other recipe, the lard and rice bran oil soap recipe, is similar, very nice soap. So I'm happy with how this came out. And then we're going to do our lather test. So my everything soap recipe has fully saponified. It's not fully cured, so in 4 to 6 weeks this will be even better. So we're going to do a lather test just to show you, to see how good the lather is. So even just in a few days, this has a really good lather. So I'm really happy with this lather. This would be very good for a lot of things. And my skin feels very good. It doesn't feel very drying, which is good because I did a lot of dishwashing and stuff like that today, so I would feel it if this soap was stripping. So that was really good. I hope you try this recipe, and like I said, adjust any part of the recipe you can if you go into Soap Calc or Wholesale Supplies Plus Soap Calculator. It's identical, but you can adjust whatever you'd like. But that's a basic outline if you want to try a very multi-purpose soap bar recipe. So I hope you try it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.